So, how's everyone been?
Busy. Work stuff. Kitchen
Yeah,
stuff.
same.
Pretty good, though. How have you been?
I went to the dentist. She said my teeth are awesome and great, and I don't need to come back for 2 more years because that's how good my teeth were.
You're lying to us right now. You just got cavities.
He's not. This is actually not the first time I've heard him brag about this dentist
I felt
experience.
very, very, very proud of myself. And then I went and bought a bunch of comic books out of pure joy.
Okay.
And jawbreakers.
Did you get yourself like a Happy Meal too?
I thought about it.
What's your special routine then?
Well, normally I just feel so relieved that I got out of there alive, and they didn't want to remove all of my teeth. That I just immediately get back on the bus and weep quietly to myself. But this time I felt a lot better about it.
Do they have
Teeth?
Happy Meals in? Yeah. Do they have teeth in Sweden? Do they have Happy Meals in Sweden? Or there? I'm assuming there's McDonald's. They're everywhere now.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
But interesting. Is it just the same old thing, or they do something a little?
It's just raw
different.
fish, isn't it?
I honestly haven't ever gotten a Happy Meal here. I know they exist because I've seen ads for them, but I don't know.
Interesting.
We did one time get one from one of the local Swedish fast food chains, and it was pretty much just like a regular Happy Meal kind of thing, except for the toy in it was like one of those things that you get as a party favor when you go to the kids' birthday party at the roller rink or whatever.
You got
And
a
the
kazoo?
roller rink will just exactly, like a little plastic kazoo or whatever, something like that. I assuming McDonald's, the actual McDonald's, has nicer toys, but
Well, now they're all like digital scans for an app.
well, speaking as someone who went to McDonald's 3 times during my time in America in a month and got Happy Meals all those times, they're all little statuettes of Disney things.
Well, they're like the amoebas from the Wii.
No, this was something for the 100th anniversary of Disney.
Oh.
So it was just all little Disney characters.
I remember
in
last
little-
time I was looking it up. I don't look up the McDonald's Happy Meals toys that often. But it was all just it wasn't that long ago, but it was all just stuff that you scanned for a phone game.
I could see that being a thing.
Huh.
There's probably a lot of kids out there that don't have any toys, actual physical toys. They just have tablets.
Yeah.
I
Man,
just want the Robux.
God.
it looks way better in Sweden. The sandwich, the McDonald's sandwiches look way better.
I mean, those are also just pictures. Look at the normal pictures.
No, I know, but
the
this one
American
here
burger.
is it's a cheeseburger with a Dijon mayo on it, and it's got sweated
Fish
red
paste?
onions.
Oh.
It's got sweated onions. Actually, it looks like it's a mixture of sweated sweet onions that have all just gone in that in between phase of caramelized and glassy, and then fresh crispy red onion on it too.
You
Looks
sure it's
so
not just
fucking
chopped
good.
up fish bits?
There's no way to tell what's in the Dijon sauce. There could be fish, but I'll screen snip this. I'll screen snip this. You'll see what I'm.
So I googled Swedish hamburger, and then the first thing that came up was Swedish meatball burgers.
Not
Well,
what
it's
I
like-
even was.
Well, because we don't call them
What?
Swedish meatball. We don't call them Swedish hamburgers here. We just call them hamburgers.
Well, apparently you
That's-
call
that's
them
the thing.
Swedish meatball burgers.
That is not something I've ever
That's
heard
according
of.
to the BBC.
Or do you call them hamburger?
The British, the pinnacle of culinary knowledge. The
Yeah,
Brits.
dude. They like jam.
And that's it.
Yeah, I don't know what else they like.
Just
Fried fish, other people's food.
that's it. They really like other people's food.
Didn't they invent curry? Or it got invented in
The more
England?
common form of curry that is consumed throughout the world outside of India hails from there, or at least
It's like
that
saying
is what they
Americans
say.
invented Chinese food because we invented chop suey. It's not really.
Yeah, but it fucking slaps.
It's a great song. Wake up.
Maybe that should be the thing we have to listen to before we start recording at 8 in the morning.
God, no. That would just put me in such a bad mood.
I just listened to Sounds of Silence. It's really good.
Oh,
song.
The
God.
Disturbed cover.
You told me that there was a Disturbed cover like 5 months ago, and I still like.
It's
block
like
that
always on the
memory out.
radio here. I don't know why people love it so much. I hate it.
Does Disturbed have like a big following in them?
I don't think so. I think this is the first anyone's heard of.
I feel like they'd be like big in Europe. I don't know. Because they're big in middle schools, so I assume European music taste is the same as that. Yeah.
It is just middle school. Yeah, I could see that. Here's
A
the
lot of
thing
very
is,
boring music.
I can't tell if the deals here are good.
mean,
Because
they're just-
things are between 59 to 99 kroner, and I have no idea.
You just move the
What-
decimal point over to the left one, basically. So 59 crowns is about.
Oh, that's not a good
five.
deal at all.
$5.
It's like $5.
Oh, I guess that's not
$6.
too bad. They want $1.50 for like one of their little junior burgers. Yeah, that's normal.
It's about run of the mill in the States, yeah.
Yeah,
Well, last time I checked. So.
$2.50 for a thing of fries does seem ridiculous, though.
Although
Are potatoes hard to
McDonald's
get there?
expensive now. Good God, I bought
Maybe.
a combo and a Happy Meal for like me and my nephew when I was there. It was $20, and I didn't even like
These
change anything.
fucking
It's insane.
kids needing money to pay their bills, so we have to pay them more. Like
No,
this
the
what's-
workers didn't get a raise.
No, I know. It's-
You know what joke I've never seen done before? Like on like SNL or like The Simpsons or something.
One of those pinnacles of comedy.
Yeah, where they have like some like they're watching TV and it's like for the hearing impaired, and then it just plays the normal thing really fucking loud. Like,
Maybe that's too basal of a joke. Like it's just like they
just
made that joke in
blows out the
1953.
speakers. No, commercials are doing that for you anyways these days. Am I right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So
I don't
fucking
know.
loud.
I haven't watched.
Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah,
don't watch
I haven't
it.
either.
in a while.
It's been a long time since I've had to deal with a commercial outside of. I guess I don't know. That's gonna be changing though. Amazon Prime commercials are rolling out.
Oh really?
For every hour watched, you have to watch 8 seconds of a commercial. It's not that bad, but still.
Yeah, but still, I guess.
Why are you
I don't
paying
know.
for it?
I'm already fucking paying for it. I'm paying a good amount
Oh, do
for
you?
Amazon Prime.
Yeah, it's like I don't know, like 14 something a month now.
Yeah, because it's 130 for
Oh, the year.
annual. Yeah, I just go for an annual and then I don't have to think about it.
What do you guys watch on Amazon anyway? What is there on Amazon?
Honestly, they used to have a really good obscure movies.
Yeah.
Oh, that's true. I remember doing that, but in Sweden they don't have that back catalog. It's just the Amazon original stuff here.
Oh, really?
For mine, I have I subscribe to different channels, so I have the BritBox channel.
Oh, you do that.
Oh,
I
yeah.
also have Paramount, which I guess is going away soon, so I don't know what is going to happen there. But that gives me all my CBS shows, or all my Star Trek, all my Stargate.
So you can watch
and,
all the different CSIs.
I could actually. I used to watch a lot of CSI when I was a kid. So
Actually, I think Stargate is just owned by Amazon now.
it might
because
just
they
be
bought
on
out
Amazon for
MGM.
Stargate,
Yeah.
but I know the Star Wars stuff is all, or Star Wars Trek is Paramount controlled right now. So I actually just finished the new season of Strange New Worlds, and it was
Oh, no.
wonderful.
I should watch that at some point.
Yeah, I saw all the Beat Takeshi movies on Amazon Prime.
Nice.
Maybe I need to fire up the old VPN then.
There you go.
Well, I gotta go lay a cable real quick.
He's got some kind of feedback from a brown noise machine nearby.
Don't like any of this. This is bad.
I was going through my Calm app the other night, and that was one of the options.
what?
You could my Calm sleep app thing that helps you can meditate. The Calm app, Calm.
Is this a Soma thing, like a Catch-22 drug thing?
No, it's an app that has guided meditations on it, and
Oh, okay.
daily affirmations and little mental health check-ins, and also has my favorite part of it, which is Idris Elba reading you stories about his treks through different mountain regions. And it's this is nice. This is nice. I can just fall asleep to this cockney-mouthed man.
Also, it's actually Brave New World that Soma is from, so before people come at me for saying
Don't come at him.
I meant
Leave
Brave.
him
I meant Brave New
alone.
World. That sounds interesting. I just watch YouTube videos and or hockey games to fall asleep.
That part, though, the soundscapes is an option you can turn on for like white noise machines and whatever. And I like the one that's like a storm or some other water effect helps me get to sleep. But one of them is just called like brown noise. I'm kind of worried to click on it. I know it's going to be like those different tones, like constant tone, but still. Did we really need to name one brown noise?
Yeah, I mean, I guess it's earthier than gray noise. I don't know. Yeah.
I don't know.
The problem is, like, you can't just listen to something to fall asleep. It's not enough. Like, I need visual and audio, oral, musical, or vocal, whatever content. Like, I need to be able to hear someone talking, and then, like, I can look over and see something happening. Otherwise, I cannot sleep.
I could do that too. It has to be a show that I've seen like a billion times. Otherwise, I get engaged with it. But yeah, I like a Parks and Rec or an Office or like one of those shows. Just something deep in the background that I don't care about anymore.
I like a dinosaur documentary, or maybe like a archaeology documentary. Like
Specifically, the dinosaur documentary narrated by John Goodman would be the one I wanna.
No, I like the amateur hour shit on YouTube. Just like some grad student with a like a sheet of paper, you know.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so breaking news, or at least something interesting. Marcus wants to bring.
You'd have to break this news up just to get it down, right?
You have to read this, Marcus, because you sent it. You're the one who introduced this to us.
Yeah, I showed you the picture. Wait, Arvid, weren't you there at the time?
Were you involved in this? Yes, actually, I would have been living in this town when this happened.
Interesting.
Oh, you want me to
Interesting.
Go for it.
Oh, God.
You want me to do it now?
Yeah, you're the one who brought it up.
Mike, tune me in.
Sure.
The longest
news. Actually, hey, that little sound effect fits for this one.
The longest poop ever recorded was 26 feet. In 1995, a woman in Ann Arbor, Michigan, worked in conjunction with nutritionists to eat a super fiber-rich diet to set a world record for the longest seagull excrement ever recorded.
Now,
Arvid, what year were you born?
I would have been very young, but
you were the prototype.
Here's the question, though. Is it actually, like, I know they're claiming the longest single excrement ever recorded, but are they, it's still kind of like strains credulity. Well, that's what I'm talking about. Like, is how did they properly record the length? Because if she did it in a bowl, it's going to coil in or it's going to snake down. There's not going to be a lot of way
maybe
you could,
it was
like,
one of those Japanese toilets.
Maybe. Well, I was thinking more like how my dog used to, where like they would hunker, but then they'd do a little walk with each push so that they'd leave like a trail.
I mean, that's the thing. Like, if they were working in conjunction with nutritionists, like maybe they had like a whole team working on this. So maybe they were just like, we're not, they had like some like big, like just a big
like
sheet
how,
of paper down.
Like this is like how Joey Chestnut has like a bunch of nutritionists around him to help him like achieve maximum.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Do you think they had her
just
like
the other end of that
on a dolly and just like kind of rolled her slowly?
That's kind of what I'm wondering. Is like, what were the mechanics behind this that you could get it laid out? Was there like a measuring tape or chalk marks down, and she just had to like make the distance?
You know what?
Yeah, they just did it at the big house. They just set it up for like the long jump.
We gotta screw this podcast thing. We gotta petition Netflix, and we gotta start making documentaries
about this woman.
People need to know.
Yeah, actually, I am kind of more interested.
A real American hero.
Might look it up. 26 feet is a lot. I've done some like footlongers, like maybe even like an 18-incher, but
I mean, your colon
it's
is
all
not
breath. It's all
26 feet
breath
long.
exercise. No, well, that's what I'm saying is it must have been so packed and backed up that like it expanded as it left.
Or it was just very thin.
Ooh, interesting.
Like, some sort of just, like, it was much more like...
Kind of like those Play-Doh cutters where like you could push it down and then it turns into hair.
Well,
exactly.
I like that they say recorded,
This is not
as in
good
to like
audio.
theorize that there have been longer ones done in the wild.
The longest poop that we know of was
Yes.
26 feet.
Yes.
I mean, also it's been like 23 years, more like 25.
Someone's
years.
probably
20
and our
28
food
years.
quality
Like,
has only
science
gone
evolved
down.
enough? Can we do this again? Can we get 36?
I'm sure. I mean, I wonder, if...
That's the interesting thing, though, is it sounds that it's the fiber's the key. So it was about holding it all together, right?
Yeah, that makes
Like
sense,
food
right?
these days is shit and pretty low in fiber.
I wonder how
So-
good this person felt after. It's like,
I
oh,
bet
stop,
so
Jesus
good.
Christ. Yeah.
I have had some like morning bowel movements that will set the course of my day of like, this is going to be a great day. I feel light and fancy free. This would do it for me. Unless part of what she was eating was like a diet of like high fiber and cayenne. And then that's going to be the worst experience of her life.
Yeah, I can't imagine it was pleasant. Like anytime you're going for anything like if we are imagining this as like the antithetical end to the Joey Chestnut key of the 72 hot dogs or whatever, then this is going to be a painful experience the whole way. Right? Like you cannot create this kind of art without pain.
And thank you for calling it art because that is what this is. It's a feat of human ingenuity.
They did it in a bowling alley.
It's okay. This story gets better. Hold on. End the podcast. We're done with video games.
What is the
We're
source
just
of this,
about
Marcus?
this.
Oh, this is like a
Hold on.
I don't
But no, I was going to talk about. Well, no,
some,
this
like
is.
radio shows
God
like
damn it.
fact checker website.
A bowling alley.
Well,
Christ.
it's Michigan. Everyone knows the exact length of a bowling.
I
field.
thought you. That's fair, actually.
It's very
like
fair.
everything,
Although
like in the town I'm in, revolves around where it was where the old bowling alley Pinheads was located. Like
Yeah.
people are still like, oh, like 3 blocks down from the old Pinheads, or 10 miles down that way from where Pinheads was. Everything's in relation to Pinheads. So,
Although, if there
a
was
thing.
a town in Michigan that did not have a bowling alley, it would probably be Ann Arbor, like just like a really disused one from like the 70s or something. I mean, back in 1995, it probably would have been converted to like a yoga studio / like head shop.
okay, here we go. Fucking Snopes Fun Police raining on our parade.
Oh, thank God.
It's a
No.
hoax. It's a hoax.
No,
Oh.
they just don't want you to think you can do it.
I need it. Like I am very happy to come back to a reality where this isn't true.
It's something from a Brooklyn artist named Michelle Hines, and it's part of some art installation of other hoaxes.
The art installation
I
where she
see.
took a really big dump.
I don't know. I do like on one of these, they're like, it was going on as a comment circulating online in 2021 for Women's History Month as like an accomplishment. I was like, I like that. That's a good joke. That's a good one. Because I was going to say, like, the breath and muscle control you would have to, like, even if it was feasible for that amount of length. Like,
Yeah, my thought was just the colon, right? Because the colon's only X amount of length. You can't really have a turd that goes beyond the ileocecal valve, because that's a valve that's usually closed, right?
yeah, I don't know why I'm being a dick about that. I don't know that word, but I believe
It's like
it's the,
where your
it's
small
the-
intestine meets
yeah,
your large
it's the
intestine.
inner shit cutter.
There's
I got
like
it.
it's
Yeah.
not, it's like a baffle almost, like you can't really,
Interesting. Okay. Yeah.
like when there's some public bathrooms that don't really have a door, but they have like a thing you turn left, they turn right, so you can't actually like see the way. It's like that. Mm-hmm. There's no actual door, but it's like you have to.
Yeah.
maneuver around
Yeah.
a wall.
So maybe this person trained themselves.
Yeah, try to
But also
maneuver.
we know it's not real anymore.
It's
So
No, I
not
don't.
real.
Why are we trusting Snopes? They're liberal propaganda, man. Just don't want you to know.
I have to say, if there was anything that was propaganda, Snopes is really terrible at it because all they do is just say things aren't true.
yeah, and sometimes that they are, or that they mostly are or aren't.
Yeah.
That's kind of their 4 modes.
Speaking of really big turds, what did we play this week?
Beetlejuice. Welcome to the Save State. We are a pod. Oh, sorry, new intro, right?
Ooh.
And now presenting
Yes.
the Save State,
Whoa.
a podcast
Hey.
about video games
That sounds
by us.
professional.
Yes.
That took like what 6 years of market research to do.
It actually way longer than it should have for the name. Like once we just said the words in the right order, we were like, oh hey, there it is.
Yeah, it only took us
Couple
2.5
years.
weeks.
Couple years.
Although in reality, it only actually took us 2 hours once we actually sat down and made ourselves do it.
Yeah, that's
but
fair.
yeah, so we are and now presenting, which is, I guess, the umbrella for all of the content
Yeah.
that we're going to be putting out
Yes.
going forward, or forward, as some people would say.
Would
Not
they?
me. Yes.
Who?
Those of you from the Maryland, Baltimore area might faux a word instead of a for a word.
Ugh. I didn't even know that was a way you could try to pronounce that word.
Forward? You never heard anyone say forward?
No. Never.
Are you trying to say fjord?
Are you saying fjord?
No, like instead of saying forward, you say foe, like your enemy word.
Right. No, I hear what you're saying. It's not a word.
No, it's
Unless
like
you're trying to describe the direction that your enemy is in. Like,
Well,
they're
exactly.
over there. They're forward.
I believe the name for the Comanche really just was the faux word everyone gave them. 'Cause,
Good job. Good fucking job.
There's actually a lot of them that are like that.
Oh.
Like most of them are just like those bastards in another native language. Like I think like the Anasazi, like it actually just means like the ancient enemy in Pueblo.
Yeah,
Sure.
that almost sounds like
But yeah, we played a
SNES. No, not
game,
SNES.
a NES game, Beetlejuice
Yep.
for the NES.
Wait,
Yep.
hold up. Was
Yes.
Ness
Who's
from
Ness?
Earthbound?
Yeah.
Is that where his name comes from?
I don't
no.
I don't think it was like that. It's just like a fun thing that Americans have definitely like attached.
It's also called the Famicom in Japan. So
It is the Famicom.
unless
in Japan.
his name is Famicom in Japan.
Maybe it's Famicom in Japan and we have no clue, but I'm pretty sure his name is Ness.
Yeah, I think it's just a coincidence. Or it's named after that guy from that band
Which
with the pants.
You
Fugazi?
can
know.
dance if you want to.
No, the one with the beret whose name is Ness.
I don't know this person.
God, doesn't matter. He was like it's like a punk band from like the 80s, 90s. Social Distortion, the Social Distortion guy.
Mike Ness.
Isn't his name Ness? Mike Ness, thank you. Mike Ness in Earthbound. Now coming to a Switch near you. Anyway, we didn't play that. We played
Not even close.
Beetlejuice.
Interesting. First off, real quick aside, there are some people saying that NES is an anagram for the SNES, which is accurate, and that is the console it came out on, but that would have been the Super Famicom in Japan. But that also, the name has a lot of different ways to translate it depending on what characters you use, because that's how Japanese works. It could be just straight up phonetically Ness. It could mean hat. It could mean Mario, strangely enough. Chin Chin or John. So it might just be like John, like this is our American child from a
I'm
kind
glad
of
they went with
America
Ness
place.
instead of all those other permutations.
It would have been fucking wild if they were just like, let's do another Mario. Like, let's just have a second one.
Got him.
I mean, I don't know. That's fair. Square did it with Sid. They just have
That's
12
true.
different Sids.
I kind of like that. Like Mario just appears in different games, and you always know it's him because he's wearing his plumber's uniform and he has his eye patch.
Well, there's always
Like
like a whole
Sid.
bunch of like recurring characters in the Final Fantasy. Like Wedge and Biggs are in pretty much
Yeah.
every
They're
game.
only from 7 onward.
No, they're in like earlier ones.
No, they show up, and those names appear in
Really?
earlier things.
It-
Yeah,
they literally
Oh.
put them in because they like Star Wars so much.
I know,
Like,
I know that, but I
yeah.
thought they were only first and 7.
No,
But yeah, I know.
I think it's the first time you like are forced to interact with them over them just being like, yeah, people.
because I want to say that in the early, like the opening sequence of, I think it's Final Fantasy VI, air quotes, but it's the one where you're in like the
mech suit?
Magitech mech
Yeah,
suit.
that's it.
The two soldiers that
Wedge
like
and Biggs.
are talking. I believe that's Wedge and Biggs.
Yes, you are correct. That is the first appearance, apparently,
Hey,
of the Biggs and Wedge. However, they have been added retroactively into previous games in various remasters,
that's cool.
but they were not in them to begin with.
Okay, okay.
So the only ones they are not in are 2, 3, and 5. Indeed. Anyway, obviously we have a lot to say about this game because we really have a lot of stuff we
Obviously.
want to talk
Yeah,
about.
Final Fantasy.
Obviously. Yes.
Did anyone finish Beetlejuice? How about
No,
let's start with
fuck
that.
no.
Insanely
It's
difficult.
horrible. It's
I
so
wouldn't say
hard.
Insanely difficult, unforgiving, hellscape.
No, this was not a fun game. I know this was like a whole thing back in the day where like kids would be like, "Oh, I saw a movie, I want the game for it." They go to the video store, they'd rent it, and they beat the first level, and they'd be like, "Mommy, please buy me this game," and then they'd own it, and then they would just never beat that first level. Like I know that is how the video game industry used to work,
Mm-hmm.
but it sucks. Like I hate this game. This
This
game was so bad.
This is bad for a lot of like. There's a lot of visual cues as a gamer that you learn about, like early platform gaming visual cues that like inform how you're supposed to interact with the world. This one tries to show you all of them, but then they're like, what if it's the opposite? What if like everything you understand about how you're supposed to interact with the game is not the way you're supposed to interact with it? I fucking hate the way the screen movement works.
Yeah, that was terrible.
The combat? Could you call it combat that you can do? Like, kind of?
Yeah. There's like there are puzzles that were just completely impossible to comprehend. And then I don't know if this is a problem. I played this on an emulator. Obviously, I think we all did.
Mm-hmm.
Did you have the thing flickering in the middle of the screen the entire time you played?
No. That must have
Yeah.
been a you issue.
I had like the there was just flickering going on constantly. I hated it.
Yeah. I mean, that can
That didn't
happen with
add
older
to-
games,
that was-
too. Like,
That was
yeah.
probably my emulator.
Yeah.
But it was unpleasant. It was very unpleasant.
Jesus. Well, yeah, the whole experience with this game was unpleasant.
And it felt just like Beetlejuice, right? Like the film Beetlejuice.
Oh, yeah. Yeah,
it's
all
just like-
those awesome catchphrases were all there, and all the characters you know and love, and the story beats. They faithfully recreated it in the entire game.
I think Michael Keaton voice acted in this game, right?
Yeah. And actually composed all the music. The music is
Oh yeah.
not good.
No, I think the only thing from this that besides Beetlejuice that I recognized from the movie was like the shopkeeper
The salesman, yeah.
was
Little
like
head dude?
Yeah, he was the
Yeah,
little
yeah.
head dude from the
waiting room. Yeah. That's one of my favorite characters in that movie in general.
But yeah, I just don't know. I feel so bad for I didn't really play console games until the PlayStation era. I just feel so bad for kids who had to grow up on this kind of stuff.
It may not surprise you guys. I played this as a kid. I remember this game.
It wasn't me who put it on the list of games to play.
No. I remember this game, and the problem is, so I had just seen Beetlejuice, like
Hyped.
15 times in a row, like loved the movie, couldn't get enough of it, always wanted to grab it from the video store, like every weekend to watch. And then I saw in the game section one day that Beetlejuice, the game, had come out. And I was like, oh, fuck, yes, it's on. Wasn't allowed to rent it that day. They were like, nah, no games this weekend. Let's go, like maybe another time. So I just like on the back burner in my mind, I was like, I got to get good grades this week. I got to do things right so I can get like a game this weekend. And I was out with my father, and I wanted to rent a game, and he was like, I don't know, maybe I'll think about it. And then I was like, come on, what can I do to like make this happen? Like, what can I do to make you say yes? And he was like, okay, here's what we'll do. He opens up his glove box, and there's, for our dog, a bag of little Alpo hamburger patty, like facsimile dog treats, like meat dog treats. He's like, you eat one of those.
What?
Yeah, you eat one of those, and I'll go rent you the game. But here's the deal. You got to eat it in under a minute.
What? Is your dad
Yeah.
like a bully from like a Disney movie? What the fuck?
He's apologized for this prank. Prank? Bullying? Yeah, I guess it was a little bullying. It's fine. It's not like it's like stuck with me forever. So I'm working on chewing this thing down. It is the grossest, nastiest tasting thing I've ever eaten. And he's like counting down the time. He's like, come on, you got to go. 10, 9. And I was like, ugh, trying to get this down. I don't get it down in under a minute. And he's just like, well, maybe next time you can get the game then. Let's go home. And I just started like crying because at this point I'm now like traumatized. I've tried to do everything I can to get this game. And he's like, okay, now I actually feel bad. Let's go get you the game. So I did all of that to get this game, take it home. And after like 10 minutes, I was like, this is dog shit. I can't even get out of like the first little stage area because I couldn't figure out how to like move on anything. Nothing makes sense. Everywhere you walk, you fall through. You think something's going to be a wall or some shit, and it's not. You just walk through it and off a cliff edge.
There's
Fucking horrible game. So
God.
That was that's my memory
I
associated
feel like
with
I
this
need
game.
therapy after hearing that. Jesus Christ. I mean, I think we've all had like the wasted like game rental of the week,
yeah.
and like just having to sit there with it all week, just knowing you get to go home to that terrible game that you rented.
Mm-hmm.
I never had to eat a dog treat for one.
It was a pretty rough experience.
I mean, I ate a lot of dog treats growing up.
Oh, I did too, but I was
Yeah.
never forced to by my.
Yeah, I did them.
You're talking about those
good.
like the blue dog like actually good ones, like the little peanut butter like biscuits and stuff, right?
Oh, no, I'm just talking
I
about
just
the
eat
bones.
milk bones.
Yeah.
Milk
Yeah,
bones.
sure. I can see that too. Yeah.
I used to. Oh, I did it. We had a middle school science fair. I was sat next to this guy who had like an automatic.
Wait, was your science project? How many dog bones can I eat before turning into a dog?
Well, it actually wasn't a science fair; it was an invention fair, and like I had invented like a
Dog bones?
a dog poop a pooper scooper basically, and the
Okay.
kid next to me had invented like a dog food dispenser. These are all just like pieces of cardboard or whatever, but like or dog treat dispenser.
Mm-hmm.
And I had eaten the dog treats before, and then I realized that I could eat a dog treat in front of these people and my teacher and gross them out. So I did that repeatedly for most of the invention fair until someone threatened to kick me out of the invention fair if I didn't stop eating the dog treats.
You got kicked out, didn't you?
They good. They real good. But stay away from the meat-based ones.
No, these are just milk bones.
Yeah, I've never had a
Yeah.
second strip.
No, me neither.
Oh, Arvid, what were you about to say?
No, like there's this like beef jerky stuff my mom buys for her dog. It's like Newman's brand, but it looks
Paul Newman?
Paul
Yeah,
Newman's like Newman's own and all
Newman's
that
own,
shit.
yeah.
but like it smells like beef jerky and it looks like beef jerky. And if it wasn't for
It's
the fact
kinda
there's a
good.
giant dog head on, like I didn't eat it. I used all of my willpower to not eat the dog treats.
You're
like,
right. This is
if
very
someone-
confusing.
If someone told me it was not for dogs, but rather made of dog, I would believe you. Or
If-
even not that.
If they hadn't added like one little bit of lettering off to the side on the packaging, I would have thought that it was made from dogs for humans.
Well, it just looks like it just
looks like beef
jerky's so
jerky.
good,
It's just-
your dogs are gonna beg for it.
Yeah.
Which they already do for beef jerky.
Yeah.
They're dogs. I remember it's the only time my first dog Buckwheat used to ever get like aggressive with us is if we opened beef jerky near him. Like the smell would hit him and he'd almost turned feral. And he had these little bean teeth that he'd pull up and he'd start like, be like, whoa, hey man, like we're friends.
One of my previous dogs was a Mastiff, and whenever we'd order pizza, as soon as he like heard the doorbell ringing, and he would know if it was a pizza guy or not, he'd start drooling. But like he was like Mastiff, so there's like big gobbles of drool.
Yeah.
So we'd have to, whenever we ordered pizza, we'd put like a towel around him, like a bib, so that he just he'd just drool on the bib, so he wouldn't have to clean it up later.
Oh God, that's too good.
Again, Beetlejuice is a great game.
So
Yeah, oh yeah, you can tell how much we really want to keep talking about it. Like every design choice in this game, it feels more like the choices you would have made for an arcade cabinet to purposely make it frustratingly difficult so that they keep feeding coins into it.
And I guess that was part of like the thing, like the transition from art, like video games in the 80s. I mean, granted, this came out in 1990, so
Yeah.
but like, you know, figuring out like a video game is not there to eat coins at home; it's there to keep you entertained. But you know, Mario figured it out a while back. You could just copied him, and
Yeah.
that's what everyone else did. But I guess like that's the thing, is that there has to be like logic and responsiveness and all that kind of stuff, which just isn't there. Like there's just things just come out of nowhere and kill you. You like chasms like that seem jumpable are not jumpable. The color it's hard to look at just because they inexplicably decided to make some of it completely black and then some of it was not, and had like these garish like gray and tan and blue colors all coming at you. It just wasn't fun.
Yeah, and you know, that's actually a great point. I'm looking at it, and Super Mario 3 came out 3 years before this game. It actually
It's
came
insane.
out the year the movie Beetlejuice was released. Like,
Yeah.
they had plenty of time to see what a successful platformer could look like.
Or what one could like, just what a platformer is. Like
Yeah.
this just feels like they were like they had seen a platformer once. I don't know. I mean, who made this game? Let's look this
Rare.
up. They probably
Rare
This is
did.
Rare.
Rare made it, man.
Holy
Yep.
Hannah!
Yep.
That is
Yep.
like
maybe they were
Okay.
going for like the whole Dark Souls vibe before Dark Souls came out. You know. It's like-
Yeah, there we go. The punishing platformer.
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, knowing it Rare, I guess it probably was just like they gave it to like an intern to finish it because they needed the money
It
from
was
the license agreement.
Let's see. Developer Rare, publisher LJN. Not familiar with their work, but yeah.
They're
It
they're
was
a publisher back
disappointing
in the day.
to see Rare's name attached to
I mean, this is gotta be one of the first things they did, right?
hot pile of shit. Yeah, I guess. That's a great point. Let me look at Rare's back catalog.
That is what I am doing, and you can do so as well. Yeah, so Rare, obviously, they made Banjo-Kazooie and the Donkey Kong Country games and Perfect Dark, you know, like all-stars of the 90s, really.
Actually, there's a lot of these games I have, though. Like, I have Wizards and Warriors. I have Jeopardy. I have Wheel of Fortune. I have WWF WrestleMania.
Oh yeah.
Marble Madness. Like, these are some solid games.
Jeopardy and Wheel of Fortune.
Actually, pretty
Double
fun games.
Dare. they made 3 Jeopardy games. Obviously, like early on, they were a very different studio than what I came to know them.
Yeah.
I mean, Battletoads is probably what I think of as their.
I also have Iron Sword Wizards and Warriors 2, which looks like Fabio was the cover model for that one.
Whatever happened to Fabio?
Yeah, he came to Virginia and we showed him we mean business, and he got the fuck out.
Yeah, I mean, but that was almost 25 years ago.
Yeah, but you go to a state and have a goose break your face open, and that's like your moneymaker. You're gonna be hesitant to like show back up in public anymore. That's like you pissed off some Greek god, kind of shit.
I mean, it was Apollo's chariot, right?
Yes, it was. That's a fun story that I still bring up every once in a while at a bar, and everyone's like, "What? What happened to Fabio?" And I'm like, "Oh, you don't know?"
I just love that picture, like of him, like them making that expression. Like that's just.
So let's see. What were they working on the year that this came out?
Hold on a sec. Sorry. I just googled Fabio, and the first thing popped up. In 2021, Fabio said he retired and was hoping to marry and have children. He also stated that he sleeps in a hyperbaric chamber because he thinks it'll reverse aging.
Oh, fuck yeah. So really what he's saying is, I need children so that I can take their blood and pump it through me to keep me youthful.
He says, in 2021, he said, I'm just looking for someone with a beautiful soul and a great sense of humor. I'm just...
Wait,
So
did
he
he just post an ad on the internet looking for...
Hey, man, Fabio, I'll marry you. Let's do this.
I just wonder, was he just like a complete Boy Scout the whole time? Like just
That would be really funny.
it's
He's like, I'm actually a virgin. This is
just going full
just been
Kiryu on
waiting
it.
for my just been waiting for my
waiting
someone
till
special.
he's 60s.
He's only worth 10 million. Like in today's No, but in today's age, that's not a lot for someone who like has been so prolific. He's 64.
I mean, what's the last thing he did other than like the yogurt stuff?
I mean, Harlequin romance novel covers.
A lot of them, like
but how much does that
and
pay?
clearly
Like-
like some NES
Yeah, I don't
like,
know
how much
fantasy
that pays.
art.
Pop?
Yeah.
He's
I
not
imagine
getting
there's
residuals from
royalties.
those. There's no
I
way.
bet he does.
No, when you're like the subject of an art piece, you just get paid for flat out. You don't get.
Maybe in the beginning, but once he became like one name Fabio, that seems more like
He probably does commercials or something, right? I don't know.
probably. He was on Big Time Rush on Nickelodeon.
Hell yeah.
I don't know why that has to be in his bio.
Although apparently his role on the cover of Iron Sword Wizards and Warriors 2 was one of the first cover jobs he did.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. So, you know,
Yeah,
tying that back
he's
into
got
it.
the face
Gotta
to be
start
like
somewhere.
a Conan kind of like character.
yeah.
Lot of like very wide flat features. So the same year they were working on Beetlejuice at Rare. Yeah, they also put out Battletoads
Yeah, that's what's making me think like
and
there was
Sid Meier's Pirates.
well the port of it. They ported it.
No, I know, but still like
Well,
a
I mean
successful port.
they were probably just doing whatever came in front of them,
Yeah.
and then also some people were making actual games. Like this is what pays the bills, and Battletoads is not necessarily a great, amazing game. But it's
Come
a
back
good
to me
game.
when you're talking Battletoads and Double Dragon. Like that's when I'll play. I didn't care for Battletoads.
Yeah, I just meant like I suspect there were probably a lot of studios back then that were doing things on the quick for a quick
Yeah.
buck,
Oh yeah,
and I'm sure that's what Rare was doing.
it's just like a few short years later, Donkey Kong Country, like the whole game changes. Rare is established.
Yeah, I mean we're sitting here dunking on them for like not using any of the
Talent and skill.
like actual platforming convention or anything like that, and then they're like, "What if we just reinvented the platformer?"
yeah.
I kind of like that I went into this not realizing it was Rare because
Supplies.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh man, now I'm just looking at the Rare back catalog and really remembering some great ones. Blast Corps, Jet Force Gemini, like all the classic
Jet Force
N64
Gemini
stuff.
was a good one.
Yeah.
Like, why isn't that one you see all over the place? Like, like everyone wants to bring back Banjo-Kazooie and Donkey Kong 64, but
Jet Force Gemini was the one. And it was one of those few ones that you could actually have like a buddy hop on because he could be the little like flying robot that helps shoot around and stuff.
I was always.
Well, no, it was like 2-player.
You could also be like the girl.
Yeah. Oh, you're right. You could actually play as. Yeah.
Because I was always the girl, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. No, it was I didn't have a Nintendo 64. My neighbor did, so I was whatever he didn't want to be.
Yeah.
I wonder how well that emulates.
N64 games? Probably pretty well.
Yeah, probably. I've been able to, like, from Moopin and those, like, engines, been able to, like, run N64 games pretty successfully on, like, my phone.
Yeah, but, like, I couldn't get, what was it, like, not Doraemon, Goemon working on, like, any emulator when we were talking
It's because it's a cursed game.
Yeah, that makes sense.
It's a great game, but it's a cursed game. I think I'm one of a few people who really enjoyed it.
I remember having the Nintendo Power when they talked about that game, and that is like my entire experience about that game. Was like I didn't even have a Nintendo at the time. I just would buy Nintendo Powers when I'd be at like the, at the gas station on a road trip or whatever. Now, did they have Nintendo Power? Yes, they did.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I was only allowed to have one subscription to a magazine, so I always got PSM. But I liked Nintendo Power.
I think I did Game Informer for mine mostly because it was just a more general magazine. But I also had a Nintendo Power for a long time. Long time.
Okay, we obviously are done talking about Beetlejuice, if we weren't already.
Yes. I never want to revisit this game. It can stay in the back memories of my mind. Like, did you ever play another really shitty movie NES game called Last Action Hero?
I played the
based
board
on
game.
the movie.
There's a board game?
There's a board game for Last. Hold on. All right, we're getting sidetracked again
That
for a
was
sec.
sick.
Is it just Candyland, but with like guns?
Honestly, I don't know. It's been a long time, but I remember you had to collect like the golden tickets.
I will tell you first off, the cover art for the board game is great.
What is wrong with his
3D
head?
board game that plays just like, because I think they literally like painted someone. They were like, shit, but we need Schwarzenegger's personality likeness on this. So they just like rough drew one and copy pasted.
You can buy one on
onto
eBay
it.
for $40.
Oh damn! I remember this game.
That's actually not bad if you were. It itself looks interesting. It does kind of look like it's some kind of a Candyland-like game. So, where you're just on a pre-decided path, and whatever you land on, you draw a card. It's Candyland.
I mean, it's like it's like a diorama, so you can kind of see like it's like inset into something.
Mm-hmm.
So there's
In the
like
movie
walls. Yeah, yeah, I guess.
Because
That's kind of cool to look at.
I
A lot
remember
of cardboard.
Playing the fuck out of it when I was a little kid.
I had a few games like that you actually had like set up and take a good amount of time to set them up. Like the one I always wanted to play, but no one wanted to wait for it to get set up was 13 Dead End Drive. I don't know if you remember like the commercials for that game back in the day, but
Vaguely. I think that was one of those games that like you'd go over to someone's house and they'd have it out and they'd be like, we can't actually play this because all the pieces are missing, but we can just kind of play with the parts of it.
right. We had all the pieces and I knew the rules and I always wanted to play the game. And everyone was like, we just want to trigger the traps. They just walk around the game board on their turn triggering traps. I'm like, that's not how the game is played.
You're like the one kid who actually wants to play Mousetrap and not just set up those things.
Yes,
I don't
exactly.
think anyone's ever played Mousetrap.
No,
Not
no one's ever
successfully,
actually
no.
played it. No. Yes. Let's take a quick break, and then we'll get back to podcasting.
Beetlejuice.
Okay.
Beetlejuice.
Oh, fuck, you did it. No. Oh, shit. I have to play
Now
it
you
now.
gotta
It's just
play the
showing
game
up on my
again.
screen. Fuck.
It's actually the star, Beetlejuice. That's like now encroaching upon Earth like melancholia, and Earth is just slowly evaporating as the greater gravitational pull of the star rips the entire planet asunder because we summoned the wrong Beetlejuice because we didn't spell it properly.
Yeah, they could hear the affectation from the spelling in the way we pronounced it. Yeah.
And we're back.
Hey, yo.
Ayo.
And do we have news this week?
No,
The news desk with Mike.
not really. Like, I think the news was that the Snopes article found that the woman's poop was not 26 feet long and never existed in the first place.
Also, everyone got fired last week.
I know. I didn't really want to talk about the great firing because I know more information's going to come out and it's going to lead to more conversation about like what projects have been canceled.
Yeah, that'll take a minute.
Yeah.
So far, 2,000 people have been fired at Activision Blizzard. The most, from what I understand, a large portion, basically the entirety of their e-gaming division has been completely wiped out. But yes, more on this story as it develops.
We also lost the possibility to have new IP from Blizzard from that survival game they were working on. That's been scrapped as part of this. That's very upsetting.
Yeah, I mean, what we really need right now is another survival game.
Yeah, me personally do need.
There's only like one of them coming out every 2 weeks.
I don't care. I love them so much. I've been playing a survival game, and I'm getting off this call to go play another one. I know.
But yeah, that is a bummer. But also, historically speaking, Blizzard's generally canceled things when they were going to be bad products. So
Yeah, Project Titan.
Lord of the Clans. No one's upset that didn't come out.
StarCraft Ghost.
Yes.
Yeah.
But, this could have been good. I don't know. I mean, if it wasn't for the fact that it was another survival game, I would probably be more upset about its potential passing. But
I don't know. I think they could have like added some mechanics, like Blizzard-fied it in a little bit and made it some unique spin on the survival genre. But
what is a unique spin for Blizzard? The art style, really. That's the only thing they got going for
yeah,
them now.
yeah, I guess these days they really are kind of like coasting.
I mean, I like the art style, don't get me wrong. But the guy who invented that art style doesn't work there anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Huh.
All right. But yeah, so we have a new segment.
Okay.
Right?
Oh, we're trying it out. Okay.
Yeah, well, I figure. I mean, we got an hour in, and we're not going to talk about Beetlejuice anymore, for Christ's sake. So
Okay.
do you want to introduce it? This is your
Let
baby.
me get the thing open.
It's the baby.
Oh boy.
Yes.
Okay.
Dinosaurs. We're just gonna a live script reading of Dinosaurs, the hit sitcom from the 90s.
Shh.
Is there ever a dinosaurs
actually?
video game? Well,
There has to have been.
I bet there was. I'm sure there was one.
was Rosie O'Donnell in Dinosaurs, or is that just me being crazy?
I don't think so because it's like it was just because the guy, like the dad, was a parody of John Goodman from Roseanne.
Oh, okay.
So I don't think Rosie O'Donnell. Dinosaurs TV show. No.
Okay.
Sally Struthers was a voice and Jessica Walter, but no. Video game. Was there a video game for the Dinosaurs TV show? Yes.
Okay.
There we go.
Well, there's a board. No, this is a board game. Sorry.
What the fuck is with all these board games?
Apparently, there was a board game of it.
Like, but this is in the era when board games sucked.
Yeah, but I mean, they weren't good board games.
Right.
Certainly.
Like, they were all just a form of, like, Monopoly or Candyland or Life, just reskinned.
Yeah. But no, I can't see anything about there being a video game. But then again, I can't think of any sitcoms that had video games in general.
My name's Earl.
You don't recall that
It's an immersive sim.
FPS for Family Matters where you play as Steve Urkel?
Yeah. Yeah.
He's got a lot of cool
I remember that
power-ups.
one.
Mm-hmm.
That's
Really
true.
like the project.
Every
that
time
came
you
to
shoot an
do
enemy, he just goes, "Did I do that?"
that. Yeah, I do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, he gets the Stefan Urkel power up, and then
That's
he just you're invincible for the rest of the level.
There's got to be a Fresh Prince game where you just
Yeah,
like,
maybe. Like,
I don't know.
I mean, I don't even know.
I don't know what you would do with that one.
You just got to work your way back to West Philadelphia.
Was he trying to get back to West Philly?
Maybe in the early seasons, but I think
Maybe he hated where he was. I don't know.
Nope, no Fresh Prince of Bel-Air video game, although there was and is a board game. Apparently, one got kickstarted in 2021.
Why so late?
90s kid nostalgia.
Is there like maybe like a Saved by the Bell game? Because I feel like that was it would just be like a Power
probably.
Rangers type thing.
Maybe.
Bunch of teenagers
So-
beating up hoodlums.
Saved by the Bell did have a video game though
Oh,
for the SNES, but as far as I can tell, it's a platformer.
That seems right.
Apparently, you are being attacked by furniture and/or animals.
okay. Very.
Okay.
I remember that episode.
Let's see.
There was also a board game.
Wait, is there gonna be a
All right.
quiz about board games? Which IPs have board games?
No quiz this week.
Oh,
Damn, 2 weeks.
even
in a row.
after I gave
segment.
you like a solid premise. That's fine. I see how it is.
What? What premise? Video games
one I
based
sent
off
you.
a platform?
No, the one I sent you. The text
You
I
sent
sent.
me.
You even said like, yeah, that is a good idea.
What time did you send it? I have a tendency to respond to things while I'm asleep and not know I responded to them.
1:25 at 11:51 p.m. my time.
So 5 in the morning. My
Yeah,
time.
yeah.
And what time did I respond?
1:55 a.m.
Okay, so I was up then. I still don't see where you sent it to me, so I'm not disputing it.
It's directly after the show notes that you sent for last week. It doesn't matter. Peek behind the
I'm
curtain.
curious now. Oh right.
You remember it now?
Oh, that one. That
Yeah.
is a good idea.
Hey, see?
I'll
moments.
save that
I have
for
ideas.
next one.
Well, that's fine. We're going to try this new segment now. I don't have any theme music designed for it. I'll come up with some sound. Might just be that. Might be like that. Who knows?
Was that a ball sack that just hovered over your head?
I think
when
it's
you
a
did that?
butt with a top hat, but you can
it's-
see it either way.
Yeah, it looked like a ball sack. Just like
Yeah. So this is Retro Roll Table.
oh yeah.
So we have two categories, two different sets of dice that are going to be rolled here online. We have a genre table that is going to use a 20-sided dice to decide the genre on a one
Of a video game.
of a video game. Yes, if that's not obvious based on the podcast being
I
about
mean, we
video
did just
games.
talk about 90s sitcoms and board games for the last 20 minutes.
Yeah, this one's really been off message.
So is technically Harry Potter a 90s sitcom?
No.
It takes place in the 90s.
But it's not a
Um,
sitcom. Like, it
but it's
doesn't
not
have
a sitcom.
sitcom format.
It is.
There's
a
not
bunch
like
of
a
people living
live
in the
studio
same house,
audience.
getting into trouble.
That doesn't mean it's a sitcom. That means Aliens is a sitcom.
Episodic.
It's just people who live in the first.
Now, this is interesting.
You know.
I don't think so. No, I don't think it's a sitcom. Just because you have shared casts doesn't mean it's a sitcom. Then like the Master and Commander novels are a sitcom about guys on boats.
It is. You know.
I kind of like that, though. It's like the is this a sandwich conversation, but
It isn't. sitcom has comedy in there and situation. Like, it's a situational comedy. That's what it's short
but
for.
like sometimes
Potter's pretty
comedy
funny.
can come in all kinds of different forms. Yeah,
It's that dry
like
British humor.
like sitcoms are based in reality. That is one of the defining features of sitcoms.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like they are people who live like they are normal people.
Yeah,
Get
they're
into
normal
situations
wizards.
that derive company.
Or just a normal neighbor kid who builds a machine that makes a clone of him that is better in every way, a la Family Matters. Normal situational comedy.
Is that the
I don't
plot
think
to Family
anyone-
Matters?
That's plot of it's a couple episodes.
It's just
of
the
Family
Stefan
Matters.
arc.
Yeah.
They also go to Disneyland, Disney World on that one. I don't remember
like
exactly.
What happened, like he got hit on the head and he turned into Stefan or Kel.
I think it starts that way, and then he realizes he can win Lisa with being him all the time. So this is Retro Roll Table.
Oh yeah.
We're gonna roll 2 dice. One's a D20, one's a D8. The D20 is going to determine the genre that we pick. The
This
D8.
is a debating game.
This
Oh,
is
what?
a debate game.
Okay.
I'm getting to that. Yes, thank you, Arvid. The D8 will be the console generation.
Oh my.
We will be picking games from those 2 categories, or a game from it, and we're going to take a position on it. One person will be pro, one person will be against, and the other one will judge. Haven't thought out which one is the role for which person yet, but I'm going to make that quick determination now. Let's say...
Well, it doesn't matter. You just have to roll once for 2 people, right? So
It's true.
you roll, and then Marcus and I will argue.
I'm rolling.
right.
Okay,
Okay.
I'm rolling. Here we
I'm
go.
gonna goof this.
Maybe.
Well, yes.
We'll see. Okay. Interesting. Very interesting. Okay, so we got on the genre table a 12. That's a tactical game
Oh boy.
Tactical game.
as the genre. 8, though, was rolled for the D8, and that is Roller's Choice. So I get to pick the platform generation for this tactical game.
Okay.
Let's do 6th generation. PS2, your Dreamcast, your GameCube, your Xbox. Let's look at that era of gaming. So,
Okay. So, Marcus, pick a tactical game from the PlayStation 2, Xbox,
I am.
GameCube era.
Yeah, I'm googling that right now.
yep, that's what I'm doing as well. We are going to find one.
So what's the Well, Ring of Red's on there, but Arvid hasn't played that.
No.
I have a recommendation for one if anyone remembers it.
Okay.
Gladius.
No.
Don't remember that one.
Very fun game about being a gladiator in an arena.
Never played it.
Highly recommend it.
Not a bunch of tactical games for the. I mean, I played Front Mission 4. Did anyone else play that?
No.
No, I didn't.
About the Suikoden games, I played a couple of those.
Army Men RTS.
That's
There you
an
go.
RTS. Is that do RTSs count as tactical games?
I think they do. I don't have real time versus like turn-based as a delineation on this.
Well, according to this, I'm
Okay.
looking at like Splinter Cell and like Metal Gear count, but that doesn't make sense to me.
I mean, they have tactical espionage.
Yeah.
That's what they're talking about.
There's
All right,
some
so for-
fast and loose
So
determinations.
if we're
'cause-
just doing strategy games, then okay. Then like my argument is probably going to be for RTS then
Okay.
okay.
from that era.
There you go.
So there's some good
So
ones.
is SOCOM an RTS?
I mean, it's a tactical game. These genres suck.
But you like, you
Well, this
command
genre
your
sucks, I mean.
squad, and you don't really like.
I mean, that's a tactical game. I would say that's more of a tactical game than a RTS is, which is a strategy
Yeah.
game.
Yep.
So that's,
This is not the part of the segment that I thought would take the longest.
no.
This is actually the thing that when we talked Monday, I said, this is my big fear.
Yeah.
What's a tactical? How about for the introduction of this show, we pick a different. We re-roll. We'll just delete all this.
Okay.
Go
hold
with
on.
it.
Hold
Go
on.
with
Doesn't feel
Arvid,
honest.
Arvid, there is apparently a PlayStation 2 port of Age of Empires.
Age of Empires 2 or Age of Empires
2.
Oh, okay. Well, and then also we can include computer games if they're from that period.
Yeah,
right?
absolutely. It just has to be around the early 2000s era.
Okay, so then I could probably do Dawn of War
Okay.
if we're gonna argue, but then
What are we arguing? Like how great it was?
Well, one
no,
of
you
them
have
is
to
going
argue.
to be.
You have to pick the other one, and then you have to say it's better.
Oh man.
Is this a
This is-
remake or a new version? Final Fantasy Tactics Advance came out at that same time.
That's a better game. That's the best game. That's not a remake though. That's its own thing.
I did
So-
not play that.
Maybe we shouldn't do debate. Maybe I think that this
This
is
segment
not
needs some work still.
All right, how about we just
Hey.
let's cut everything we just did.
Okay.
We'll re-roll, or we'll re-roll,
Okay.
and then instead of debating it, we're just going to try and think of ones that we can remember. And
Great.
talk about how good they are.
That is the exact thing that we didn't want to do. Okay.
But at this point, like I just don't know.
Well, I think we
Because-
just scrap it then and we just say, like, hey, this one didn't work. It's got to go back to the workshop. I think there's nothing wrong with being honest.
No, I will delete it. There will be
Oh,
no part
no.
of it
Yeah, they're not
surviving.
going to hear this, but, like,
Yeah.
They should
Um,
hear
I
it.
don't think we should
then-
try,
People
like,
hear.
yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think we should try to do a version that's not going to be the final version.
Oh.
Yeah.
You know what
fair.
I mean?
Well, maybe
Yeah, this
it
needs
was
some
just
work.
like we had a bad roll because like PS2 era tactical.
Well, also like
Oh, that
the
was my
genre
choice.
thing.
oh,
Yeah.
Like, let's see. If we were to do it again, we've got a survival game, which we know Arvid loves those genres. And it's 8th generation, so it's a survival from the Switch, PS4, Xbox One era.
okay.
My problem also with the genres is that, like, okay, so we're talking like Rust or Ark or whatever for survival. But does Resident Evil count? Because that's the survival
Technically, yes,
horror.
they're survival horrors. I would count it as either a horror or a
And
survival
as Marcus
game.
says, every game is a survival game
Every
because
game
you
is.
don't want to die in them.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, if death is a penalty you can achieve in a game, then it is.
I think what Retro Roll Table needs is more defined things.
Yes, there's
Like,
some more mechanics that need to be added to
well,
this.
like, what if we had like a hard and fast rule? So, like, instead, like having a third table that's a list of games for that period. I mean, I know it would
I
be
see what you're saying. Like, turn it into an Excel sheet, make a pivot table, and then when you pick
exactly.
your two
And then
categories, it drops
and then
out
you
the
wouldn't have
information.
any choice, and I'd have to argue Dawn of War versus Homeland or whatever.
Okay, I'll work on that because I like making Excel sheets anyways. So
Yeah, and then that way we have to. There's no like maybe. It's
yeah,
just,
and we can just do like a strike through when we have talked about a game from that era and that genre, and then
Exactly.
add more as time goes down.
Yes.
Okay, that makes more sense. Makes it a little more streamless, a little frictionless, as people say these days.
Yes, less fiction.
No cap.
Yep.
Trying to get the
All right,
youth
so
market,
we
right?
just gonna delete the last 11 minutes of content. What do we want to put here now instead?
Our beautiful voices signing off, I guess.
We
I
gotta
don't
think
think
so.
we have.
The shortest episode ever.
It's going to be a pretty
we
short
actu-
episode then.
We haven't done what we've been playing.
Oh, yeah, okay. So I've been playing. I'll go ahead and
So let's start
take
over.
first crack.
So now let's do what we've been playing, I guess.
Okay.
And now presenting what we've been playing on the save state. It works. It works for everything. So good.
Gotta use the branding.
Fuck yeah. Push that brand. I've been playing more PALWORLD. I've just been playing a lot more PALWORLD. Got a
Nice.
server with a couple buddies we're on, and
Would you call this a survival game?
I would call it a survival game.
Nice.
Yes, I would.
It's definitely not a Pokemon game.
Legally distinct in many ways, although there is a PAL at our base that is a electric type, and it's a power generator for us. We just have it hooked up to like this generator that it, produces power for us. And it does just look like the design skin of a Zapdos, but the frame of an Articuno, like with a Zapdos color scheme on it. It's
the palette swapped.
It's
Articuno.
pretty. That one is like, you should remove that one from your game before this lawsuit inevitably comes down, because that one's pretty glaring.
Like, Nintendo is notorious for just like shutting shit down and cracking down. The fact that they haven't already.
Well, that's what I read recently. The guy who was the head of Nintendo's legal team until a couple of years ago said, "I'm amazed that it's gotten this far. Back in my day, we would have shut this down months, if not years ago."
Yeah, so it must be like something where they're like, I don't know.
Or maybe they're just letting it get big so they can suck up as much money as they can when they finally do the lawsuit. Like, just
maybe let them
like,
work out all the kinks
wait
or
for
how
that to
to
be a
run this
nice,
kind
real
of game.
plump bit of yeah, exactly, fattening the calf.
I could see that being a thing. So yeah, like, look at this thing.
Yeah, it's a Pokemon.
Look at that thing. That is an Articuno with a Zapdos color scheme.
Yeah, that looks like a Pokemon.
Yep. I mean, they all have that look to them, right? So,
I'd catch it.
but that's an interesting thing, is like that I play all kinds of like monster catcher games all the time that you could argue that looks like a Pokemon, but it's just a cute up version of like a pseudo animal.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like,
but that
I don't
looks
think
like
they
a
can
Pokemon.
own the license to that. Yeah, that one looks like.
I mean, that's the thing, though. It's like we've had Digimon for years, and I can say that could be a Pokemon, but it doesn't look like a Pokemon. Like, I know what a legally distinct Pokemon already looks like.
Sure.
It looks like a Digimon.
Sure.
You know?
That's fair.
But that's good.
Yeah,
I'm
it
glad
definitely has
that
the vibe. It's been
That
fun.
has more legs. I'm impressed by that.
It's actually been a fun game, and well, because a lot of it is that it's slow going for like the leveling progression system, so we actually have time to like build things up and find what's effective and what's not effective to like have the base operate properly. Like, we finally just got to the point where we have assembly lines, and we can now like get them to work on one task and then move to the next line and do the next things. And we've got a few different bases now, and we're hoping there's going to be a point where what is produced at one base can get transferred to another seamlessly so that it can all be utilized more. And it's now becoming like an automation game.
So it's like a Satisfactory, but with slave labor.
Oh, well, so we try really hard to keep ours happy and healthy, not just for production, but for our own feelings. But yeah.
But a happy and healthy slave is still a slave, right?
There's like a fine line in the game. There's a fine line in the game where you start to feel like this is very much like a work will set you free kind of feeling coming from it. But again, I've always made the argument.
Famously,
Yeah. I have always
non-problematic phrase.
made the argument for this, since it has come onto our radar, that I think that's the branding of like the marketing for this game has pushed that these mechanics are
Hitler had
cruel.
bad branding.
No, he actually had great marketing. That was part of the problem. God damn it. No, I think, like, yes, the sanity mechanic and everything is in this game, but it was framed.
It has a sanity mechanic?
Yeah, so instead of stamina, they have sanity, and as they lose sanity, they get depressed and, like, don't want to work, or, like, they'll just, like,
Jesus
die from
Christ.
sadness
They're
and
coming
stuff.
off Nintendo's
like an
greatest
overwork.
IPs.
And it's pretty...
It is just a slave labor simulation.
No, but that's the whole point, is that you can see the like that as like, oh wow, this game gets really dark because they get like all depressed and fucked up in the head, or you could see that as incentive to treat them good so that that doesn't happen to them. That's a negative thing, not like some edgy, cool feature.
What, you mad that we're judging you for trying to treat your slaves better?
I'm not. They're not. Legally
They're happy
distinct,
and healthy.
Legally distinct, and they're learning valuable skills. This isn't great. So, what have you all been playing this week?
Well, I got a little bit of a non sequitur just because you're talking about slaves.
Good,
Because I was thinking about,
good.
you know how like whenever they make like an IP game, like they kind of like try and flesh out the world a little more.
Yeah, are you gonna say Roots? Because no.
Because is there? Is there Roots
No.
game? Immersive Sim?
There's probably a board game now from what we found out
It's
this
almost
morning.
So like,
But no.
what I was trying to figure out is how does the economy in Harry Potter work?
it doesn't.
Yeah, because I was
Harry
I was
Potter
trying to think about it like
holds up to literally zero scrutiny.
It is
because
D&D
they have
money.
they
Like,
have like the slaves, they have the whole slave class.
Yeah.
So there's like no manual labor jobs.
No, there isn't any.
they wouldn't need manual labor because of magic
Then
anyways.
why do they have slaves?
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense.
because they like to. Because they're wizards.
Because she needed to have something to make a point about hierarchies, and she's not very creative.
So obviously, like they can sell like chocolates and prank toys and wizarding
Yeah.
stuff, and like
Yeah.
apparently like was this Diagon Alley is just real big,
Yeah.
and it's just like a consumer mecca. But
Yeah.
like,
Hogsmeade
where are they
too.
getting the money
Yeah.
to spend it?
from their own
They
internal economy. They have like
make
currency.
it?
and
Yeah,
stuff.
I know, but it's
Yeah, but they
controlled
have
by the
magic. Like, do they
goblins.
just make the
Like, the
galleons?
only people
and
allowed
stuff?
to like work in finance are the goblins.
I think it's like
again-
implied that there's some sort of like higher power that the bank goblins work for.
There's
Maybe,
probably
I
a
don't
Ministry
know.
of Finance. I'm
I-
sure.
Yeah, again, does not really hold up. I mean, I don't think that. Again, that's the problem with in general with a lot of stuff where you're writing something
Sure,
and
yeah.
you write one book and you don't know that you're going to have to actually analyze everything as a greater universe, and you think, oh, I mean, and I'm being very charitable here when I say she thought it'd be a fun idea for goblins to be bankers, and then in the second book she thought it'd be fun to have goblins to be house slaves, and didn't necessarily think that they'd be like the same
They're different. They're different.
ethnic group.
One's a tiny slave goblin. One is
Racist caricature.
no, just no. They're just different. They're their own people.
Yeah.
They just want their own land.
They can speak in full sentences and wear proper clothes and have little glasses that they pull down and look at you. Yeah, I don't really try and analyze the Harry Potter universe as making a lot of sense because I don't think anyone did.
Yeah, because
No.
like
Until there were 7 books.
they have
and 3
interest, so that
movies
means they
and
have a
everything
stock
again.
market. You know, of some kind, or at least the
I mean,
bankers
I
are
don't-
lending money.
I mean,
to
you don't
build the
necessarily
interest.
have to have like a market to have interest because it's really more about like return on investment from risk is why you're
And also,
gonna
like,
implement
how
interest
do
system.
how do you prevent counterfeiting in a magical world where you can create
Duplicate?
matter
That's what
out
I'm
of nothing?
saying. Like, well, that's why there must be some kind of magic Ministry of Finance so that they
But
are
even-
like the boring
But
IRS.
even if you
going
can't,
around
but
finding
even if you can't
counterfeit
create
galleon.
currency, you can create commodities, which devalues the commodity. So
That's
there's
true.
no point in having the currency. So you can't really trade commodities at all.
So what are
Maybe
they
it's
trading?
because-
Are they
backed
trading
by
slaves?
something.
No,
like maybe it's backed by like
I mean, that is the only thing you can't create wholesale in Magic is life, right?
Yeah.
wands.
Like, you can't
Wands are
create
really
living
hard to make.
things.
Like you can make wands, but like only a few people can make them good. Maybe that's part of the economy is like skilled.
Yeah, but then again,
objects.
how does that? That's
Like maybe
That's not
maybe
an
the
economy.
galleon is backed by wands. I don't know.
But at the same time, like obviously, with the wand dude, he had like a house made of
Ollivander.
wands.
Ollivander.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
like
the only guy who could make wands apparently.
yeah.
It's his family.
And
His
he had
family
way more
does the trade.
wands
The
than
lore
like
goes
kids
deeper.
in the school, so he's intentionally
Yeah.
flooding his own market. Like he's devaluing
Well,
his
so
own product.
he's not the only wand maker because we know that there's other schools in other places. Like there's an American school, at least one. There's like
Yeah,
a
but we don't
weird,
know that
like
they don't-
European.
so
I
they all
imagine
have
they
their own-
all
So
have
is there
wand makers.
one-
Yeah.
like global wizard economy.
Like a one wizard like world government kind of thing.
Yeah, and like the Ministry of Magic, is that just Britain's wizard
Probably
government?
because they call things ministry, like those stupid Brits do, like instead of a department, which is normal.
So where
but
they-
then they don't have any like creation of like nation states.
I
just
mean,
have different
I don't
governing
know why
bodies.
if you're a magic wizard, you would have to really like worry about borders?
Because
Like
other
if you can just
wizards
teleport
will-
everywhere, like why do borders matter?
then why have like nationally distinct schools then? Why
Pride?
doesn't everyone just go to a magic school in the sky?
National pride, just
Yeah,
like
if they all
cultural
pulled
pride,
together,
I guess.
They could build the dopest school. Like,
They could just go to school on the moon.
That would be
like,
actually
they're
like
magic
that.
people.
That's the one I want to see. Is all of that just it's on the moon, and then
you
it
know
doesn't matter
Yeah,
what you do.
'cause
And
it
now
takes
it's
place
moon
in the
logic.
90s, but they never
Harry
bring
Potter
up the space
2155.
I like it.
race. You know, like
The space race in the 90s, yeah, there was the Challenger explosion, and then there wasn't a space race
Yep,
anymore.
because
think-
everyone
that
went.
was the-
do you think the
"Ooh."
wizards were involved in the Challenger explosion? Like, they're getting too
Interesting. They
close.
don't want us to
Getting too
find their
close.
school on the moon.
Yeah.
I like.
I mean,
it.
they already went to the moon, and the Challenger was not going to the moon; it was going to the space station. Actually, it wasn't even doing that. I think it was.
just going up to have a look.
So
See,
what
Just-
year does the first book supposed to take place in?
I know. What's his face gets a PlayStation for his birthday. The shitty cousin. So 1996 onward, but before the PS2, which was 2000 or 2001. So sometime between
Yeah.
96 and 2000, I would say.
let's say 98. Just right in the middle. That's my prediction.
So it's 91.
What? How can you have a PlayStation in 91?
Magic?
How long are they in
Magic
school? Oh, okay,
PlayStation.
they're only in school for 8 years. Dang.
7 years.
7 years? Okay.
So like,
Yeah, supposed
That
to
would
take
mean-
place
So
from
9/11
1991 to 1998.
Doesn't happen.
9/11 didn't happen yet.
But the Gulf War does? And
Which,
the wizards are
man,
silent?
How dope
mean-
would it have been if they tied 9/11
I mean,
in
that's
like
the problem,
Voldemort did 9/11?
I mean, that's the problem with like the newer books is that they're trying to like. They keep trying to like they're hinting into the fact that like the wizards had some reason for not being involved in World War II. Like if you've seen any of these Crimes of Grindelwald crap, like the whole
I
shtick
have
is
not
like
bothered.
they frequently allude to the fact that like there's a war coming and the Muggles will destroy the world if we don't. And like in the second movie they're like aiming right towards like, and then in the third one they're like no, right
Wizards
turn,
decided to
90
be
degrees.
isolationist.
Nope, we're not talking about that one. Just kidding.
Good call. Because then you have to like say, well, there was definitely a wizard in the SS, right?
Yeah, like, and what wizard didn't stop Americans from bombing Hiroshima? I don't know.
Yeah, things would get like very.
Well, that is
complicated
interesting
very
because
quick.
in the Tri-Wizard tournament, England
Yes.
is represented,
Yeah.
France, and Russia.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but it's
Where's
like
the rest of Europe?
the whole point of that is like it's like
Did the rest of them die
thing.
during the
Maybe
war?
the rest of them all sided with Germany, and they went, you know what, you guys
Not
don't
allowed
get to
anymore?
participate in things
well, I kinda
anymore.
just figured
Yeah.
Slytherin
I mean, I
would
could
have been
see that.
involved. Like,
Yeah.
Like they divided. Like
You think
like,
Italy would be in there? But
Yeah, well, I don't know. I mean, not necessarily. Like it's like all the like the Ashes, which is like the big cricket thing, and I always assumed it was like the World Cup of cricket, but it's really just between England and Australia.
what
Like,
if the
those are only two countries that can win
tri-flame
it.
torch thing that Mussolini had as his party like emblem was actually the Wizard Cup from before the war?
I thought the party emblem for the Italian fascists was the fascista.
the little stick
Oh.
with the axes on it.
Yeah,
Oh,
the axes with
yeah,
the sticks
you're
around
right.
it.
That's also the emblem for like Congress, isn't it? Like the U.S. Congress.
I think it's used in a lot of places.
Yeah.
I think the eagle holds two little fascista.
Yeah.
It's literally social movement tricolor flame is the like translation.
So these are the fascists
Split from
who
the
are too
Italian
fascist
social.
for
Yeah, they were too
Mussolini.
fascist to like be able to be chill
Hey,
with people.
Okay. So let's move on, and
real truth.
away from
The real truth.
the questionable world of Harry Potter. So for our show, we talked about feces, slavery, and Harry Potter. Is this like the least listenable episode of this podcast we've ever made?
Yeah, it's Beetlejuice's fault though.
What did you play this week, Marcus?
What did you play
anything?
this week?
I have been playing a different game,
Oh shit.
but I believe it's a game that we're going to talk about at a later date.
Oh, gotcha.
Oh yeah.
Hypnospace.
Yeah, let's
Outlaw.
Hypnospace is on the the
Very
docket
excited
for
to play it. Very excited.
near episode, soon episode, will happen episode.
That's gonna be fun. Yeah, probably a couple from now we'll do that one.
To remove, moving away from, questionable things. I've been playing Anno 1800, the video game that simulates
Hell yeah.
a world economy in the 19th century, which definitely doesn't have any questionable things that it just kind of glances over and pretends that it's fine. But I've been playing. I've played Anno 1800 a lot, and I've spoken about it before on the podcast. But I finally let myself go down the rabbit hole of modding for Anno 1800.
Okay, interesting.
And I found like a ton of mods for things that I wanted to fix, and a ton of mods that add all kinds of new content. Like, there's even one that they're working on that'll just add like an Asian area to the game, which is
dope.
Like, that would be really cool if that happened.
Yeah.
But mostly I've just been playing with a few that allow you to use rivers. Like, there's all these rivers in the game which annoy the crap out of me because they didn't just sit there and get in your way. But this mod lets you build things on the rivers, like mills and fisheries and stuff like that. So
That's really cool.
I've been enjoying that a lot, and it's a small thing, but it adds a whole lot of depth to the game. I recommend, and also the mod launcher is built into the game, so it's really easy to get to.
I'll have to check out the mods. I have the game. It's a very fun game.
Yeah, no, it's
yeah.
I mean there are I've always been pretty reticent of games that of game companies that try and like create the modding scene into their own ecosystem where they don't let it kind of be its own thing. But this, it's really easy to install stuff with this one, and I like that. However, there is literally zero way of like communicating with the mod authors or seeing what other problems other people have with the mods, because there's no like comment section. There's just like a rating system, and that I don't think that we need to have comment sections so we can abuse mod authors, but it is really nice to know if like, this mod doesn't work with this one very well, or this mod sometimes, install this mod after you start the game and that sort of thing, which are things I usually look for in comment sections of other mods, and not having that is kind of annoying. So
yeah, fair enough.
Indubitably.
Yeah. All right. I guess that's it, right? Anything else for the pod? Oh yeah, we got the
Probably should tell people where they can get a hold of us and stuff.
Yeah. So if you haven't noticed, the YouTube channel, we've rebranded that a bit so that it can serve as a platform for a lot of different projects that we kind of want to work on, so we don't have to like have a bunch of stuff all over the place. So
yeah.
And now presenting the save state, which is what we will call this, and then there will be other things that we are now presenting as things move on.
Save State, the multinational conglomerate.
Yes.
Now a part of Gulf and Western. But you can still contact us at thesavestatepodcast@gmail.com.
Absolutely.
And at the Save State Pod on all the socials. That's still a going thing.
Definitely.
Those aren't going to go away. There'll be probably some more options for contacting as we kind of create socials for the umbrella.
We'll have that. Probably next episode. That info will be available. Everything will be up and ready. That's my thought.
Yeah, so look forward to more stuff, especially on the YouTube channel, that we're going to work on that don't necessarily fall into the podcast area.
Definitely
and
don't.
Maybe other podcasts too. Who knows?
And definitely yes on that as well.
Thanks for listening. And also like rate and subscribe and comment and
please do
all that jazz.
Yeah.
So thanks for listening. And I've been Arvid.
And he's been.
Oh, I was just like, I thought you were doing a bit. I mean, I guess you are.
And I've been Mike. I've been
yes,
Mike.
that is your Mike.
I've been Mike.
There you
I've been Mike.
go. Nope.
Why?
And
Something Scott Keratopoulos. Bye.
Scott Keratopoulos. Oh fuck, he's right behind me.